What do you do with the mad that you feel? If Mr. Rogers were to ask you this question, how would you respond? In other words, if he were to say, hey, how do you deal with your anger? What would you say? If you're like me, maybe you'd say, not really well, right? Let me also ask you this. If you're here with a group of people this morning, who would you say is the angry one in your group? Okay, don't point at them. That's only going to make them angry. But who would you say is the angry one in your group? I like that a couple of you openly raised your hand. Like you were like, yep, we're going to call it now. I'm the angry one in the group. You know, it's true. Some of us tend to be angrier than others. But let's be clear this morning. Every single one of us gets angry, right? You get angry. I get angry. The person sitting in front of you gets angry. The person behind you, the person to the side, even the people that you waved to this morning when you walked into church, everybody gets angry. In fact, anger is one of the most common emotions that you and I experience as people. But you know what? Here's the thing. Everybody gets angry, but not everybody knows how to deal with their anger. In fact, I imagine this question, what do you do with the mad that you feel, for many of us has probably never even crossed our minds before. We just know that sometimes we get angry and then that anger goes away at some point, and then something else happens and we get angry again, and this pattern goes on and on and on. But for many of us, we don't really know how to deal with our anger. You see, the wisdom that Mr. Rogers is trying to impart to his viewers, that if we don't learn to deal with our anger is going to learn to deal with us, right? In other words, if you don't learn to deal with the mad that you feel, then the mad that you feel is going to affect the way you think. It's going to affect what you say. It's going to affect what you do. Anger has the ability to fundamentally change who we are. And you know what? The reason why this is a problem is because you and I live in a culture today in which anger is accepted and promoted, and in some cases, it's even celebrated. Think about it for a moment. You turn on the TV, you got shows like Jerry Springer and Real Housewives of Name Your City, and these people are yelling and screaming at each other, and instead of being repulsed by it, what are we really feeling? We're entertained by it, right? We're amused by it. We want to see more. Fight, 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 fight. We turn to the cable news channels and we listen to the hosts and the commentators, and they rile us up and get us angry about what this politician is doing and what this group of people is doing. And then we go on to social media and we connect with other people who are also angry about the things that we're angry about. And then we go to this website or that website and we find this article that makes us angry, and we send it to our like-minded friends and we say, oh, can you believe this? This is outrageous. And then we go out into public and parents are yelling at their kids. Kids are yelling at their parents. The person behind you is honking their horn at you. The person in front of you in line at the grocery store, they're yelling at the cashier. I mean, we have a whole species of angry people called Karens, right? People who believe that it's their right to be angry, that because the employee will not do what they want them to do, that they can yell and scream as much as they want. You see, friends, our culture doesn't teach us how to deal with our anger. It just teaches us how to be angry. Mr. Rogers was one of the lone voices trying to help people deal with the mad that they feel. And so the problem that you and I face today is this, that because many of us don't know how to deal with our anger, and because we live in a culture where anger is accepted and promoted and even celebrated, oftentimes when you and I get angry, our anger goes unchecked. In other words, we don't really see our anger as a problem. We just yell and scream and fight without any real reflection about how our anger is not only harming ourselves, but also harming the relationships with the people around us.